live on LinkedIn. Hello, LinkedIn. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Hello, world. And I'm going to move this card out of the way in 7 seconds, and then the show can start with 4 of us on screen. 3, 2, okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. So, how are we today? How is Solihull, John?
Dull and overcast, but hopefully it's going to rain because I want it to rain. Then I won't have to go around with a watering can. But everything's fine in Solihull.
Right. And in Stoke, Stephen?
Well, I've told you so many times about the glorious sun and the waves beating gently onto the beach and the palm trees swaying gently. But like John, it's warm but overcast.
Brilliant. And in Aberdeen, Peter?
It's very warm outside. It's cold in here. And yeah, it's just a hot day so far.
Good. Right. So welcome to the show. This is Blabbing for Britain, episode 289. Only 11 to go to the 300. Better start thinking about what to do. Right. With sadness, I have to say that a good friend of John and I, Roger Vanstone, passed away on Tuesday night. We heard yesterday on Facebook. Roger, I'm in a eulogy. I'm sorry, Peter.
You've lost your sound, Stephen.
I haven't.
I can hear him fine.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you hear anybody? Okay, and I'm going to skip that comment for a moment because we don't want that comment on. Right, okay. Peter?
I think you better go out and come back. He's gone out and he's coming back.
Right, well, that was one way to actually get a moment's silence for Roger. Roger Vanstone, we knew since 2004, 2005. Both John and I had met him. He was, and John smiled when I said this, he was a ladies' man. And he was an ardent sailor. He supported, for his sins, he was a baggy. He supported West Bromwich Albion and loved cricket. He once nearly played for England, but his love was to go to Edgbaston and to watch the English teams over the years. He was what you would call a bon vivant. He had an enormous encyclopedic knowledge of all the restaurants in Warwickshire and South. If there was a good restaurant to be at, Roger would visit it. I was very fortunate to actually dine with him on many occasions over the years, from Stratford through to the Crab Mill in Henley. And the thing about it is that he had friends all over the UK, genuine friends. He was a very friendly man. I don't think he had a bad bone in his body. He didn't have a bad word to say about anybody. He supported everybody. And it is a sad loss that he's left. He was young. In our terms, he was young, early 60s. But he was just an amazing guy. And I just want to thank Roger for his friendship and reach out to everybody who knew him, because the response has been in the networking club has been overwhelming, really. John?
As you say, we've known him for a long time. He would help anybody, do more or less anything for everybody. Lived in Bromsgrove, I believe, or Barnes Green, that area, near Mr. Grealish. And can't say anything other than he definitely loved his food and his beer and his wine.
Well, he knew all about wine. He knew all about food. I'm pretty sure he was a good chef too. He said to me once, he said, right, okay, what we need to do is we need to get people together and once a month, first Tuesday in every month, meet up and just dozen people around the table and just talk. And he said, will you help me organize it? And I said, Well, it was Roger. So I said, yes, of course. And we started this lunch session, and John's just reminded me it was at the Stone Manor. And tens of people over the months actually visited, and good conversation was had and a good time. And Roger was always at the centre of it. And just Roger, you'll be missed. And thank you, Stephen, for helping us with that by remaining silent. Hopefully now we've got the now we've moved on to the next bit. Peter, can you hear me?
Yeah, it was my end by the looks of it.
Yep, we know that. That was just unfortunate timing. Right,
you need
okay.
to log in to get rid of the XSplit logos, Peter.
I just didn't have time to do it last week, and I won't have time to do it today.
But you do have time now, changing the topic, to move and go to France. Now, the story behind this, you can now go to France, you don't have to quarantine when you come back. And the reason that this has changed is so weird. It's wonderfully French. It's a French island called Reunion, which I think is off the coast of Africa. And it's definitely a French possession still. They've not gained independence. And they have very high COVID rates. And the French statisticians added the Reunion COVID rates to their own. And it looked like the variant B of COVID was actually on the rise, but it was only on the rise in a small island off the coast of Africa. And that misled everybody. And it was on July 15th that the French statisticians said, no, this is wrong. Just amazing. Statistics, basically. So is anybody going to France?
Well, you mentioned Reunion. The latest Clarkson road show. What's it called?
The Grand Tour.
Yeah, the latest Grand Tour. They've gone to Reunion.
Yeah.
They're driving around Union, amongst other things. But there's a bloody great big motorway all around the island. It's cost something like £12 million per kilometre. And it's like a ring around certainly the bottom of the island. And,
it goes all the way round.
Yeah, and obviously they had to have a race, and they were the first people to do it. But I mean, I never knew. Well, I know bugger all about other people's countries and things like that. So it was interesting.
Yeah, it's the N1, N2, N2. I know that sounds daft, but it's split. Yeah, so it's three motorways that are joined together to create a ring road. Yeah, and it's in the Indian Ocean, Stephen.
Thank you. I stand corrected. My geography is not my strong point.
It's still off the coast of Africa. It's just the other side of Africa. Now, there's this big place called Madagascar in between.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, and let's catch up and say good morning to Chris. And good morning, Chris. Good morning, Corinda.
And Nick as well. Good morning, Nick.
Just a minute. Good morning, Nick.
UK's champion chef.
Indeed. It's 1-1. There's a cook-off show every Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock, between Nick in Farnborough and between Adair in Brisbane. And it's just good fun. Nick can cook, by the way, and so can Adair. So it is a good show. They've done spag bol, and this week was pad thai. And if you want to put in what it is next Tuesday, Nick, and please do. And over to Nick again. I'm told the French restaurants and shops and bars will require vaccine confirmations to enter, but in French. Sacre bleu.
Well,
okay.
I have a friend that moved to France about 2.5, coming up 3 years ago, and they were pretty strict. He lives in the countryside. They're pretty strict, and He even had to get a form filled in on the internet and get a pass back to walk the dog. So the French took things pretty seriously.
Mm.
Chicken adobo.
All right, okay, it's official then. So if you want to learn how to cook chicken adobo next Tuesday, 10 o'clock on Amazon Live. Looking forward to it, Nick.
Does it include catching the chicken and plucking it?
No, it all takes place in the kitchen, John. It's a cooking show. It's not a hunting show. Right, okay. Well,
Peter's very quiet.
he is. He's thinking.
Just listening to you guys. You've all got something to talk about.
Were you in the van yesterday? I know you went live, but unfortunately I was.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the van quite a few days. I've been setting off at 7 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been
Is
very.
this because you've got so much work?
Yeah, there's so much work on. I've got 4 vans now. Yeah, I've just bought another one. So that's my 4th van, and I'm getting it delivered tomorrow. Never thought that would happen.
No, because you had to wait months for the other one, didn't you?
No, I bought a second-hand vehicle. I'm slowly getting rid of my hired vehicles, but there's no vans to be hired in Aberdeen. Big little ones, they're all gone.
That's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean I've got 3 employees now, and plus I go and do work too. Yeah, show the boys I can still do it.
Second-hand cars have gone through the roof.
Yeah, well, we got our camper van too, which we took it out to a guy who knows everything. That we're really happy about that. There's only about 5 little things he's going to sort, and he says that's it. And then one day I'll be speaking to you from the camper van.
A nomadic Peter.
Yeah, I'll be coming down Englandshire.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Come down to Wiltshire if you can. Right. Okay. Let's hop over to politics and the strangest story of the week. The Prime Minister goes up to Scotland for 2 days and is invited to meet Nicola Sturgeon and says, "No, I'm going to go around industrial estates and meet the." Do we understand this at all?
Yeah, of course. It's a
Yeah.
pathology of people who are doing a job that they're not qualified for. Why would he meet somebody who seems, Peter will know better, she seems to know what she's up to? I mean, she did that, was it 8 hours of questioning about salmon, and she got through that. I mean, Johnson can't even get through an interview on breakfast TV or whatever. You know, he's completely unqualified. And why would he meet somebody who's qualified and would take him to town?
Well, the problem is it's brinksmanship, and don't. It's not all Nicola Sturgeon. There's things going on behind the things that you're obviously not seeing, and it's brinksmanship. She's saying, "You come and see me." He's saying, "No, I've got other things to do when I'm up here," and that's the way things are happening in Scotland. And she wants to talk about a second referendum. Bring it on! Bring it on now!
Oh,
Get your
Peter, calm
referendum
down,
now.
mate, calm down.
Guarantee you'll be beaten. Guarantee you'll be beaten.
Okay.
That went well.
That went.
That was a political broadcast from the Peter Stewart party.
Right. Okay. Now, in contrast to not speaking to Nicola Sturgeon, if you donate £250,000 to the Conservative Party, then you can have a meeting with the Prime Minister and the Chancellor of the Exchequer. True story. Thoughts?
Cool.
Happens in every party. You just don't get to know them all. There was a guy that won the lottery up in Scotland with his wife. He gave £600,000 to the party. The treasurer of the party asked where it went.
Yeah.
He didn't get an answer, so he has resigned. It was meant to be for the political campaign. And folk are saying, where's the £600,000 went, please? And they won't answer.
Who's this?
A guy that won the lottery, he's died now, he died. Him and his wife, very in SNP, they give the SNP £600,000 for the party to push it on. And people are now, the treasurer of the party had said, where's the money? It was meant to be used for this, and it's obviously been used for that. And
They know it's being used for that, do they?
well, why would the treasurer resign? He says, I haven't been given an answer. So
No,
I'm
but
resigning.
you just said that they've spent it on something specific.
It was meant to be for the party.
I get that, but what did they? You said that they spent it on something
That's
else.
what they're trying to find out, and they won't
But
tell them.
you just said that you know what it was spent.
No,
on.
I didn't.
You did say that, but you're now saying that you don't know.
I don't know what's been spent on.
Ah, okay. I just want to get.
That's
want to
what.
get your words right. You know what I mean?
That's what. Just guys, did I say that?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Colin Clear
Was watching
So
right anyway, didn't they?
Right. So £600,000. The treasurer says, "Where's that money went?"
And no one will tell him.
He didn't get an answer, so he's resigned.
That's interesting, Pete, because have you heard that some Tory MPs, ministers, have actually lost their mobile phones?
Yes, I did. And
Do you think?
listen, everything's imploded. Governor Cuomo, who said when President Trump says the woman should be believed, he's just been counts of sexual assault. Did you see that?
No.
You see.
Colin Weir bought Partick Thistle as well, didn't they?
That's right, yeah. But no, Governor Cuomo of New York people who deal with it have just confirmed them guilty of 11 counts of this.
Yeah.
You'd have to really get it in detail. And this was the same guy that said, and the women should be believed. Yeah, the women. No, he's denying it himself. 11 counts. And he's just been convicted of it from whoever looks into it, the committee.
Pete, get your words right, mate. He has not been convicted.
By his committee that was looking
No,
at
it's
it.
not a committee. It's not.
Can somebody tell me what it is then?
It's not. I am trying to. It's they did an investigation of Cuomo.
Yeah.
And it found that they found all the evidence they needed to say that he did it. The next thing is he gets indicted, or he goes to a grand jury, or some sort of part of the legal process which says, "Oh, we've got all this evidence. We'll charge you with an offence, so to speak." And then he gets done. So you can't say again.
Okay, I take that back then. They found enough evidence, even a policewoman who was there to protect them. They found enough evidence now to take forward and prosecute.
Well, we shall see. But again, I just want you to be happy with what you're saying, mate, because I don't want you getting your blood pressure up unnecessarily.
It's not my blood pressure. It was being hypocrites. It's about him being a hypocrite.
Let's just cool things down a bit. I've got a crazy question. Right, can you see me on screen?
Yes.
Can you see John?
Yeah.
On screen. Yeah. Okay. It's me then. I do need to refresh because I can't see John on screen. I can't see Stephen on screen unless I do this. Excuse me a moment, gentlemen.
How will we cope without you?
I'm not going anywhere. I'm sending you somewhere. I'm trying to, hopefully, I've got the power. I can actually, if I can find you again, I can bring you back.
Pete, do you like this three?
Okay,
three
now that's.
like it.
I'm going to have to refresh. Okay, a short topic to keep you going, not one that is controversial. A good one. Okay, so I'm going to refresh. We're back in a minute. Just background to this. The government or government departments have agreed that musicians can now tour Europe visa-free, and it'll save them a ton of money, which means our English bands, Scottish bands, Welsh bands, and Irish bands can actually go and play music abroad. I'm just going to refresh. Back in a minute.
When does that kick in? Does anybody know?
Soonish.
Well, I think it's for us to discuss, isn't it? I haven't even heard it.
No,
So
when does the visa-free stuff kick in?
that's just the question. I don't know.
Right there. Right. Peter, well,
Hello?
I run my own business, and unfortunately,
Can you
it's
hear
a
me?
busy business. So I had to go out and
Hello.
work. Hello, Stephen.
Oh, right. Okay. You can hear me then, John.
I could hear you all the time.
All right,
I could see you all the time. I can't now.
I couldn't see you. The one this is crazy. I cannot see Peter now. Can you see Peter?
Yeah.
Well, not now. You put a
Okay.
three-way split on.
Excuse me, Peter. Won't be a second.
Oh no, Peter's gone now. Yeah.
Right. Okay. It should be back now.
You've been deplatformed, Pete.
Okay. We're all back. That's
Right.
better.
Yeah. So
Everybody
just to let you
disappeared.
know, Corinda, unfortunately, I tried to get in, but I've been able to come on at 57 minutes into it. That's when I was able to get going, so I didn't bother coming on. Busy times.
Right. Okay. Where shall we go? Where shall we go?
Well, the Musicians Union, great. I said that would happen anyway. Remember, if you thought back, remember we spoke about this? I said, don't worry, they'll end up with visas or whatever, and musicians will be able to go through. And if you trace it back, you'll see I said that before. And other things will happen too. So it's not going to be that big divide that some people are maybe hoping for.
Predicting is not the same as hoping.
No, I think some people were hoping for it. I know people that have said it to me, not on here, but other people. A good friend of mine says, I hope it goes wrong. I hope it goes wrong.
Okay. Now, what do we think that Harry Kane's up to?
Oh, has he got some issues with Tottenham Hotspur, perhaps?
Are we bothered?
No. And
You
we're
weren't
not
bothered,
bothered
but-
whether Grealish goes there either.
Why is he up for it as well?
We're not bothered about Harry Kane and Spurs. Yeah, the most important question, where is Harry Kane? And that's a good question from Nick. Apparently, Nick is actually still in Florida. He's not returned up for training, and the club are not happy with him. I think he obviously wants to move on. And just want to record movings on. The gloriously talented Danny Ings, who used to play for Burnley, and then went to Southampton, and then scored goals against Burnley, and has now moved to the Villa, John.
Well, the thing is, they're preparing for the time that they don't have Mr. Grealish. I cannot blame young Mr. Grealish if he goes to Manchester City, because he wants to win something. And that's something the Villa haven't done for a long, long time. However, you can see that they were clearly getting prepared, because that's the fourth frontline signing this year. I mean, frontline as in football, not frontline as in going to war. So, yeah, the Villa are ready to live without him. If you look at the last 3 years, he's only played in 65% of the games that the Villa have played anyway.
Okay, so we've done football, guys. We're now clear of football.
We're not doing cricket, are we?
No,
no. The test match has only just started, so it's.
The hundreds look quite good, though.
Well, for creating excitement, yes, certainly.
I was going to say, Nick's just made that point there. That's a
No
lot of
idea.
money for a middling
John?
Premier League to spend on a 25
Oh, you
million
stumped us
on
there,
Ings.
Nick.
Sorry?
Okay.
A lot
I
of money
say-
to spend on what?
On a player, 25 million
I know.
quid.
Ah, that's nothing these days.
But for Villa aren't.
But Villa are owned by two of the richest men in the world. They've
Oh.
pumped hundreds of millions into them,
Oh, okay, fair enough.
and we're about to get 100 million back for selling Grealish to Man City, which will clear 3 of the 4 signings this year.
100 million is what? Bloody hell.
Yeah,
So how
he's
much of that does he get?
about to become the richest, the most expensive UK player.
Wow.
Ever.
He was certainly fantastic in the
He will
World
only
Cup.
He will only keep it for a short while because the money is 120 million for Harry Kane, and it will happen.
Where's he going to go?
They're both going to Man City.
Both. That might
Okay.
make domestic football.
Leisure
worthwhile.
activities. I know Stephen's got to go in a minute.
Oh crap! Yeah.
Nearly a third of waking hours are spent watching TV or streaming.
Yep. I can
First of all,
agree
do
with
we
that.
agree? This is based on 2020.
Did I mention this last week?
They
But
say
I
we're
finally
spending
signed
6
up
hours
for
a day
YouTube Premium.
streaming and
No,
watching
you didn't.
TV.
I've just
Netflix
signed
and
up
Amazon.
for YouTube. Am I overwriting Stephen? Okay. I've just signed up for
I can see
YouTube
Stephen
Premium.
talking, but I can't hear him.
We can hear him.
We hear him.
Oh,
Good.
we're having
I'll carry
problems
on.
this
You sort
morning.
yourself out,
Okay,
Stephen.
carry on as if I mean
Yeah, I've just signed up.
it's one of those mornings. You
I can
talk
hear
to
you
us.
perfectly.
Me too. So I just signed up for YouTube Premium because I was fed up of the
Okay.
interminable race to click
I'm
on
going
close
to
ad.
tell people about this
And
because I can't hear Stephen.
Maybe
Earlier,
we can
Peter
swear
couldn't
now
hear
and get
me.
away with it.
And Peter's muted himself.
That's just
Yeah,
being
okay,
you,
got
John.
that.
No, anyway, it's an absolute.
I mean, you could say
god-
anything you want, Stephen. I wouldn't hear it. Everybody else would. It would be on the recording, but you feel free.
Stephen is saying that he
I can't hear
signed
you
up
either.
for premium YouTube
All right, okay, yeah. Now
because he
you
was
can go
fed up
live
with
on.
the adverts. Is that about right, Stephen?
Yes, totally, and I love it. Don't tell anybody else.
Okay,
He
Nobody
says
else.
it's really good and he loves it,
But don't tell anybody else.
but you're not to tell anybody else. Okay.
okay.
I'll put myself out to Stephen's
I'm glad everybody
misery.
else can hear,
Oh, that's just had a call come
everything
through.
that's going
I'll
on.
see
It's
you
a bit
next time,
disconcerting
guys.
when you can't hear what's being said. Okay. Now, have you seen the images from? All right, Stephen's gone, so that takes care of that problem. But if you could hear him, it wasn't him. It was actually a software somewhere. Have you seen the fires in Greece, John?
I thought it was Turkey, but I haven't seen today's news apart from one item. So it was Greece and Turkey.
Yeah, they've closed the Acropolis, which is definitely in Greece, isn't it?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, the wildfires are spreading. I mean, fire is such a destructive force. And they've got temperatures there of 45 degrees at the moment. And Peter is back, but not off. He's still muted. Peter, your thoughts on the fires affecting Turkey and Greece?
Come in, Peter. Your time is up.
Right here.
Yes.
Excuse me, I haven't seen much writing about I think, you see, it's not in the mainstream media all the time, the fires.
Hello.
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, it's been on Sky and BBC, and they're counters.
I don't watch them
they've got
anymore.
report. Juice is out there in Turkey, and they've got people out in Greece as well. And they have been reporting in every single bulletin
Yeah,
as-
there's nothing on the front page of the BBC.
No.
But it has been on the live news. Okay, and Chris is saying that the fires have now reached Italy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had fires here. We had fires up in Derbyshire, didn't we? West Manchester. But nowhere near as bad as the ones that are actually affecting Greece at the moment.
No.
Okay. Okay, so we covered most of the topics in actual fact.
Oh, we haven't spoke about
Okay.
Ashley. What's his name? Mike Ashley.
What
Sports
she done
Direct.
Well, he's stepping down as Sports Direct Chief Executive and Chairman. And his son-in-law to be is going to take over Fraser Group, because what he did was he bought House of Fraser and a couple of other things and then created Fraser Group to sit over the lot. And he's stepping down from that, and his prospective son-in-law is going to take over running the group.
Well, how old is he? Maybe time he did have a bit of time to himself.
It's going to concentrate on Newcastle Football Club, which will annoy an awful lot of people because they think he's a pain in the ass. I think he's going to concentrate on selling it, to be honest.
Do you
How
know,
old is he? Yes. Well, it's a really good question. It doesn't say how old he is, but his replacement is Michael Murray, aged 31.
I remember up in Aberdeen, Stewart Milne, who heavily involved with the club. I don't know what his title was or anything like that. Oh, they wanted him out and everything, but I'll tell you what, they sure like his money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure like their money at a time, and that's the problem with football. You know?
Well, he's been desperately trying to sell Newcastle for a good 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
Why
as
doesn't
you said,
he just close it down and say, I'm shutting the doors? That's what one guy done with his factory. He said, they all went on strike, and he says, the minute you walk out, I'll shut it and I won't open it again. And that's what he done. It was quite interesting.
Colin Weir, who we mentioned earlier, he bought part at Thistle.
Yeah.
He obviously knew that he wasn't well because he gave the club to the supporters group.
Yeah, to the supporters group. Because him and his wife actually divorced, you know, near the end. And I think they give a lot of money away, actually.
Well, he did win £161 million.
I know. A lot of money. I don't know what he gave the SNP, but I know that they've done a lot of good with their money, that's for sure. I know that. You know. He didn't get too long a life to enjoy it because he kind of got it later on in life. I'd be happy to win £100,000. Are you listening, lottery? I'll have to put on a ticket.
Would it make you happy, Peter? I don't think so.
To me, no, I just want peace. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Peace. That's what I want.
Well, you could buy a fantastic camper van for £100,000.
No,
or you could buy one for 80 and then spend 20 running it for the next 5 years.
Yeah, no, but I wouldn't spend that sort of money on that. Just to be comfortable. I mean, I got my bank account through today, and I was speaking to a local councillor that I know is a friend as well. He just joined Facebook, and I was keeping him right on how to use it as a politician. But we were both laughing. I says, did you ever dread the bank account coming in and scared to open it? He goes, oh yes. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that position, but it's a horrible feeling. Have you been in that position?
Not really.
Yeah.
Mm. No.
But the truth is, when I was made redundant for the second time in 12 months, well, no, second time in 18 months, I did get a really good payoff, and that was what allowed me to start in business.
Yeah.
I've had months where the amount of, I can see no orders coming in a while back. I mean, not recently.
Yeah.
And thought, God, you know, what the hell's going to happen? But after a while, you stop worrying about things like that.
Yeah. I mean,
It's different if you employ people where you've got their family responsibilities.
That's right. That's me. When I interviewed people, and I say to them, "You've been through a lot of jobs recently. What's happened? They keep getting made redundant."
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually say the reason they left. They say, "Why do you get so much jobs?" I've been made redundant 3 times recently, so it's starting to bite, you know. And you wouldn't guess what happened. I had a chap come in for an interview with a really strong accent. I said, "Where are you from?" He says, "Burnley."
Small world, Peter.
I'd done something mental in my head, and okay, that's a joke, folks.
Yeah. There's no wrong with folk from Burnley.
Yeah. How did you haven't got an accent anymore, Stephen? What happened to it?
That's a good question. Born in Burnley, and then when I was 9, we moved to Seascales, and I picked up a Cumbrian accent, and I've got a mixture of Cumbrian and Lancashire, so you can't tell.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not Queen's English, but it's certainly not a
He
Lancashire.
sounds like he's from Warwickshire.
Is that what it is?
Oh, you think Stratford's got something to do with it as well? I don't know.
I wouldn't woe him, break him in half, and it'll say wouldn't woe him down the middle.
I had a friend who was really real English spoken.
Yeah.
But he was Scottish.
Wow.
He was Scottish born. And it's the same with people that were born in the forces in Germany. Folks say, "Where were you born?" I said, "Germany." "Why ain't you German?" "Because I'm British." It was a British military hospital, and it's caused a lot of confusion. I'm not sure if they can be Germans because they were born in Germany. I'm not sure. But they were born in British territory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sovereign territory, isn't it? Oh, in those days it was.
Yeah. So it's quite strange, you know. And well, going back to musicians, if you don't mind, I've been asked to do a gig.
Very good.
A small gig, and I've seen my friends that, oh no, I'm not answering. Yeah, that's how much you mean to me. I've turned that phone off. Right. So basically, yeah. Where was I? Where was I?
You're talking about John. What was Pete talking about?
Then he's been asked to do a gig, and then he went off on a tangent.
Yeah, well, my friends are starting to go out and do some gigs now, but they're not allowed to dance and sing the audience. And once the drink's in, I do not know. And they've got to be, there's only about 60 people allowed in their pub, but I think that's just changed. But they've still got to wear masks. And I think it's because just recently people were going to the pubs who went there all their life. And because the pub's trying to keep things right, I heard a rumour that a group of people that used to go to the same pub all the time, somebody says they're not coming back because the pub was trying to keep it in order.
Yeah.
And it's quite strict. He said, "Could you?" Because I was in the pub just to see who was in. And the manager, I said, "No, come up," and says, "Could you sit in your seat, please?" And I was standing at the bar, and she goes, "Could you sit down, please?"
Yeah. I mean, it does vary from place to place. I mean, I don't often get a chance to say this, but I was at a rock gig a week last Friday at a pub, and the way they arranged it was that on the dance floor you didn't have to wear a mask. You got the freedom of choice. You could decide whether to wear a mask or not. And then upstairs they had seating and socially distanced seating. So it is still an individual choice in England as to whether you wear a mask or you don't. And there's nobody telling you what to do anymore.
So you can go without a mask now?
Pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, we could go to anywhere. But out of respect to the shop owners where we shop, supermarkets like you to wear a mask, but they won't stop you going in if you don't. Local shops, out of respect, really, we always wear a mask when we go in. It's habit, and it doesn't cost anything, as they say.
I had a good clean out in my van this morning too, and the amount of masks that were lying there. No, masks everywhere that I'd used. It's unbelievable. But in Scotland, we've still to wear masks going into public buildings and things like that.
Now there's still mask signs on entrances, but they mostly say, in order to keep our staff safe, we request you wear a mask, but they're not compulsory.
I'll be back in a minute, folks.
Okay.
I'll mute myself.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to bring a photograph up because I can. I happen to like this photograph. Taken last Saturday in Portsmouth. I'd love to sail on that boat, John.
Whose super yacht is it?
I don't no, just moored there. You couldn't get close to it because obviously it's surrounded by water, but I just love to actually.
Oh yeah, so it's moored on an offshore pontoon, and then
there you are. There's the bigger picture. Yeah.
Can you see what the name is?
Not from where I am now. No, I could if I enlarge the photograph though. That might work.
Because it's on that bit there. Super yachts is a topic that's doing the rounds at the moment on Facebook, funnily enough, about who spent the most and who got the best value for money. I have looked at the posts, but not paid that much attention.
Okay, let's bring up another photo while we're waiting for Peter. Hopefully this will show as well. There we are. There's a first castle. This is Porchester Castle, which is in Hampshire, which is where we was. And it's the first castle I know that wasn't built to defend somewhere. It was just built by the Saxons, no particular reason. And then Richard II took it over in 1399. And it's just a great place to actually walk around and visit. In actual fact, if I press this button here, we can actually go around the castle. But I won't. I've played that video last night on Amazon Live. So I'm quite enjoying making these videos. Who knows where we'll go this weekend?
You can go somewhere. That's perhaps the most important thing.
Yeah, that's true. That we've got the freedom now to actually go out and about, and it's good. It's good just to be out and just set off half an hour away. Doesn't matter how far away you go for walks. We've got those freedoms back.
Oh,
so
thinking about things, behind me is a balloon. And
there is, yes.
Bristol Balloon Fiesta. 5 days long. I did post it on my timeline yesterday because our friend Barbara Tomlin's really into balloons.
Oh, she is, yeah.
So I posted it for her to look at.
Okay.
So
yeah. What do you know?
Do you know I bought that camera and I haven't used it yet.
The GoPro?
I've just not had time, and it wasn't downloading onto my phone, so I'm going to wait and get another S20, not a 21, an S20. So I've got two, and it can go live for the phone. You can't go live from the GoPro unless you're on a webcam or something like that. You can't go out and just do it live.
I did send
Switch
you a
time.
how-to video link.
John, I haven't had the time to be honest. Things are just so upside of the guy.
Yeah, your phone basically acts as a hotspot.
Oh yeah, for my phone to the camera.
Yeah.
All right, okay, I'll work on that later then. It was just I don't.
Don't go and buy another £1,000 phone if you don't need to.
Okay, I'll look into that because I've been watching you, Stephen. I have been watching you on your travels. I'll come in for a while and I'll come out again.
Yeah,
And
thank
I
you.
didn't realise it was. I get confused where you are because I didn't know you were doing that on Amazon Live.
Right, babe, when I do the broadcast, which I did on Saturday and Sunday, I'm actually live just on the mobile phone.
Yeah.
I save the recordings and I then play the recordings on Amazon Prime. So last night was that was the visit to the dockyard last night and the visit to the castle.
I don't know when you're live or not anymore. How can you be able to tell me?
I can't.
You can't. Yeah.
Well, apart from the fact it says at the top is live.
All right. I thought it said that in the recording.
As opposed to was live.
Oh, was like, okay, I'll look out for that because that was me spending ages last Friday. I says, where's this DJ thing? You want me?
No, I sorry, Peter, I went on holiday. I know I shouldn't, but I actually took 4 days off and went down to Hampshire.
I think I need a day off myself. It's just all
a break makes a heck of a lot of difference.
So when does Angelica get her passport?
Right, Angelica applied for a passport last Friday at the German consulate in Southampton, which is inside a sports hall. It's weird. He's got a wall of tennis rackets behind him in his office.
Yeah.
And they couldn't shake hands with Angelica. They had to keep socially distanced, and they had this wonderful machine which you put your fingers on and identifies who you are, and it goes onto a biometric passport. Right. To answer your question directly, John, Angelica is hoping to get her German passport in the next 3 weeks.
How does she feel?
She'll use that for when she goes home.
Yeah.
To enter Germany, and when she comes back to here, she'll use her UK passport. My sister did it for years. She had Canadian citizenship as well as UK citizenship, and she had 2 passports, one to come into the UK and one when she went home to Canada. Made life so much easier. It wasn't true.
When the German ones go
long, I'm afraid. Sorry?
Angelica goes over to Germany with her German passport, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So why not just use the German one to come back?
Because she's a British citizen, so she can go straight through. Excuse me.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Yeah. Okay. An observation from Corinda. My passport is to be renewed, but I'm not allowed to smile. None of us are allowed to smile on passport.
That's nothing new.
You can't.
That's been the rule forever.
Yeah.
I've never seen you smiling, Corinda.
Okay.
Do you know that phone call came in? It was just a guy telling me there is no vans left in Aberdeen for hire. All over. Crazy.
Right. Crazy. Yeah. So just to confirm, it's just a requirement, Corinda. We don't ask why. We just do as we're told. You don't smile on a passport photograph. Yeah. Just is that way. Okay.
Excuse me.
Right. In the paper today, and this is not controversial. I didn't bring it in. Oh, that's it. Okay. COVID cases and hospital admissions are down. Is it over? Is COVID over?
Oh.
Do you feel like it's over?
I kind of do up here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went into a job the other day and I wore my mask and I got the guy to pay, right?
Yeah.
By card on my machine. Handed over his ticket. I says, no, please don't forget to wash your hands. And he just shook his head and he went, "Huh." So I have yet to get anybody going into a house recently that wore a mask, but I wore mine.
Yeah.
And I do my gloves and I go in, I wash my gel, and it's just the way I do it. And if they don't, if they say to me now, I says, listen, you do what you want. I says, I'll just try and protect you because I meet other people. That's all I say, you know.
Well,
And,
I read last week, and Angelica checked it and didn't come back and say you're totally wrong. So I'm going to say it is accurate.
right.
That washing your hands, we are now told, we're now told that washing your hands is good hygiene, but nothing at all to do with COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. So all these times we've got us into the good habit of washing our hands when we come back from shopping and what have you. But that's hygiene related. It's certainly not related to COVID transmission.
Yeah. I think in a few years' time, you're going to get people with respirator. I don't like wearing a mask now. They're horrible now sitting in the van if I've got somebody with me. I just don't like wearing them now, but I wear them. But they're horrible. I'm getting claustrophobic. But I'll try my best.
Corinda, we did Turkey and Greek and Italian bushfire earlier in the show. Corinda's bringing him up, but we've already discussed them.
Yeah. COVID app. Have you still got the COVID app?
Yeah.
I've never had it, so.
Neither did I. You know, I've actually got tests. I'll tell you, that's the confusion. The other day, I found out there's a test centre beside me, and the Scottish government were putting out an advert saying, we want you to test twice a week.
Yeah.
So we've got walk-in centres.
Yeah.
So it goes down, there's two guys, well, one guy with a yellow jacket. And I said, hi mate, I says, can I walk in here right now and get a test? No, you have to get the app and get an appointment. I says, okay. Other guy come along. He says, can I help you? I says, well, your friend here was telling me that I need to get an appointment with an app and come in and see you. He goes, no, you can just walk right in. I says, your 2 years are standing there, guys. I says, you need to get the act together, you know? And he says, what's it you want? I said, I want a test. He says, do you want some home tests with you? So they give me 3 boxes of home tests. And we can do home tests, and you can sit in your house and you can get it within half an hour. But don't you think those guys there should have been properly trained? Hi, I'm Peter, I'm coming for a walk-in. Well, this one said that and that said that. It's ridiculous, and that just shows you the state the country's in at the moment.
I mean, we did a home test last Tuesday,
Right.
and it was negative, which is good.
Yeah.
It's just reassurance, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what type of test was it, Stephen? What is it? Is it an accurate one?
That's a good question.
It's a lateral flow test. Yeah.
That's a lateral flow.
It's an indicator because you can have positive lateral flow, and then a PCR test, which is the proper one that you went for, can be negative.
What's a PCR stand for?
It's still a good thing. You're testing. Yeah.
What's PCR stand for?
Yes. Okay. What does PCR?
Look up John's were in
Google is your friend.
Sorry?
No, you don't have to scan on the app. If you go to a pub, you can just walk into a pub. You can order. Depends on the pub itself, whether you order at the bar or you order at your table. There's no need to use a COVID application to go to the pub, as far as I know. John was.
It's a polymerase chain reaction.
Well, we know now, Peter. Are we any the wiser?
No. Polymerase
It's
chain
the-
reaction is a method widely used to rapidly make billions of copies of a specific DNA sample, allowing scientists to take a very small sample and amplify it large enough to make a study in depth. There you are.
Yeah. Is it the most accurate one then? Is that what the hospitals use?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one you've got to pay for if you were to go abroad.
Right.
That's the expensive one. That's what is.
But now you can get a walk-in version. But will the airline accept the walk-in version? That's the question. Because
If you
there's
bought it from,
complaints that people have relied upon walk-in tests, got to Birmingham Airport, and been turned away by airlines.
Yeah. And there was a group of nurses refused on the plane.
Uh-huh.
And they're tested twice a week. Yeah,
And
it's
they were going-
crazy. Absolutely crazy.
and they were going on holiday, together, and they were refused. And now I hear that, is it French? You're allowed to, or is it Spain? You've got to go, but the certificate's got to be in Spanish or something.
And that was France, supposedly.
Oh, what a state we're in.
Well, is that Brexit or is that?
Well, we've not mentioned the
Nothing to do
Brexit
with
word. We've
Brexit.
not mentioned Brexit at all this week. We've kept off it. Doesn't exist. Never happened.
It's over. We don't need to mention it. Things are happening. I've bought a Citroen. I've bought a Citroen Berlingo. I've bought a, what's the other one? A Peugeot. Mon ami, I'll still buy your vehicles.
Okay.
Did you buy a Stellantis vehicle then?
The what?
What make did you buy?
The car. The
The
van.
van. What make?
A Citroen Berlingo.
So it's a Stellantis van.
It's a second-hand one. It's just I'm buying 3 vans, purchasing them. I never thought I'd be buying at this stage in my life, but I'm just going to buy them. They're mine, and then I'm getting them all logoed up, and then see what they bring.
A friend of mine, she wanted to buy a Citroen Berlingo, and they couldn't find one, but they offered her a Peugeot, and she's like, "I'm not having a bloody Peugeot." And then the man said, "They're made on the same production line. They just stick a different badge on it when it comes off the line." And it's totally true.
Just because I went to the pub, but yeah. In Aberdeen, if I go to the pub, they're still wanting us to scan. It's up to the, I think it's up to the local. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just confused with it all. I really am. I don't even. I try to keep in line, but it's very difficult. You know, what about those people that stay in market towns in the border and they go into each other's country?
Yeah.
Nightmare. What a nightmare.
Indeed. Confusing.
Don't you have the issue with the drink drive limit is different in Scotland?
Correct.
And you can be perfectly legal in England and drive over the border into Scotland and you're over the limit.
I read a story about a Scottish policeman that pulled somebody just over the border and said, "Have you been drinking?" And they said, "Yeah." "How much have you had? How much have you had?" He said, "I would suggest your wife drive from now on." And I thought that was good policing, you know?
Yeah. Indeed. And on that positive note, it's over to John.
Oh, we got there. It's 11 o'clock already. So it's goodbye from Scotland. Wavy, wavy Scotland. It's goodbye from Wiltshire. I'll say goodbye from Staffordshire on behalf of Stephen, who had to leave at 10:30 because of an appointment. And it's goodbye from Soho and the West Midlands.
We'll see you at 4 o'clock.
Yes, we will.
Then and everywhere where we are, we're nice people, really.